you technical pandas out there. Hope you've been having a good weekend. Today we have an interesting video where we'll be comparing a JBL Charge 3 to the Altec Lansing Life Jacket 2 Mini. It's the Mini. The JBL retails for about $129. It goes on sale fairly occasionally for like $110. The Altec goes on normally is priced at $99 to $110. Let's see how they sound. Up first is the Altec Lansing. I'm playing this through an auxiliary cable plugged into my laptop, and we'll be using Pandora. This isn't going to be the world's most scientific test, but let's jump into it. First song up is Spectre, No Copyright Song. And I forgot to say these are about half volume. Up first is Altec Lansing, of course. Now for the JBL. Same song, same cable, same everything. Let's get started. Now, before we get started fully in depth, the Altec Lansing is owned by Altec, which is the parent company is Infinity, which somehow I don't know how they did this, but Infinity was bought out by Harman, which owns JBL. So for the money, I guess it was good because Altec Lansing is now part of them. Altec makes, I don't know how many of you know this, they make phones and kind of crappy electronics. But, okay, we're going to get into the sound right now. We're going to do multiple songs. But first up, for about, right now the Life Jacket 2 is $99, and the JBL Charge 3, this one in front of me, is, let me just check quick, 90, there's one on sale because they just came out new ones at CES. It's $129.95 according to the website. That's not a big difference really. If you're looking for Bluetooth speakers, this one blows away this one. We're going to do multiple sound tests. These have both been broken in. I've used the JBL a bit more. These are all half volume. I do like these radiators. The JBL has a more bassy, more punchy sound. The Altec has a more tinny, but it's got more focus on the mid-ranges. I'm going to attribute that to the JBL's massive drivers. The JBL has dual 50mm drivers and dual bass radiators. The Altec Lansing has about half that and doesn't have a bass radiator. Well, it has one in the back, a small one. I'm going to pull up a vocal song and then we can continue from here. Up first is the Altec Lansing, of course. Up next is a vocal song, Drop the Jupiter by Train. It's very vocal, has instrumental in it. Let's see how the Altec does. Once again, this is on Pandora, half volume and everything. Plugged into my computer. Now for the JBL. Okay, so up now is the JBL. Now remember, guys, I'm recording this on a camera. It's not going to be the most accurate sound. I recommend you go to a store and check these out. Hear both of them side by side, because being recorded on my phone, being played through speakers, even though it is wired, it's still going to be compressed. When I upload this to YouTube, it's going to be even more compressed. So I recommend going and checking it out in a store. Now, same song, we're going to be playing it for about 30 seconds, 40 seconds on the JBL. I'm going to plug this into the back of the JBL quick, and while I'm at that, I'm going to show you how do you plug it in. It's just this little flap on the back. Yeah. Once again, back to the JBL. Now we're going to be playing a very vocal, instrumental song, slower song, not as much bass in it that I believe. It's the script, No Good and Goodbye. Up first, the JBL this time. And about 30 seconds in, we'll switch over to the Altec. Well, guys, leave your comments below if you see which one you like better. I'm going to keep playing those songs. I'm going to tell you what I like and what I like and don't like about each one of these after each song. At the end of the music tracks, and I'm going to move on to build quality and some other stuff. Same song, No Good and Goodbye. Okay, guys, I'm going to be totally honest. I really was expecting a lot more from the Altec. It is $100 speaker nearly, with tax. The JBL is just a better deal. In terms of sound quality, in terms of bass, in terms of vocal, I want to let you listen to a bit of the vocals on the JBL. The mid-range on the Altec are a bit less muffled than the JBL. The JBL feels a bit more muted, but it definitely has a deep end punch. You can almost feel it. It feels a lot bigger than its size. The JBL is a bit bigger than the Altec. I'll show you that later. But the Altec is a $99 speaker, $99.95, without shipping or handling. This is the mini one, and this is the mini compared to the Extreme. But I definitely would prefer more bass on the Altec. Definitely, definitely more highs. You can tell it was starting to distort a lot more. The JBL was distorting a bit, but it wasn't as nearly as noticeable on the song. I'm gonna plug it into the JBL and show you what I mean. But before I get started, I would like to give some disclaimers. I'm not doing this over Bluetooth because it wouldn't be a fair comparison. The Altec has um, a different Bluetooth thing. The JBL supports aptX. It supports the different formats for more audiophile performance. The Life Jacket only supports what's it called? DSP. It doesn't support nearly as much as the JBL, which is kind of disappointing because it only costs a bit more. The JBL only costs a bit more, but it's so much better, so much better. I'd recommend this any day. Um, let me just check. Let me just see what it is. 1 second. Okay, so it supports um, GFSK, DS, Pi 4. I never heard of that. DSP, 8SPK, A2DP V1.3. All these are on the official website. Um, this is a very good speaker. This one, I'll get into battery life and all that stuff later, but yeah. So let's finish the No Good and Goodbye. And this is the vocal part. I've also noticed something else with the JBL and the Altec. The Altec is not as well insulated, shall I say. Like it definitely vibrates a lot more. Even on basic on not even as bassy as the songs, this thing you can feel the vibrations. And I've gotten the JBL up to like max volume on some stupid bassy songs like the Chainsmokers, and you can feel the vibrations, but it's not like it is on here. Um, yeah, I, I I don't really like it. One thing I do like about the Altec is the buttons. I'm going to turn these both off, and I'm going to show you what the buttons. Okay, so this is the Altec. And then this is the JBL. Oops, I definitely prefer the feel of the buttons on the Altec. Um, both of these speakers can be stowed up like this. Um, the JBL does weigh considerably more than the Altec. Like, man, that's not even in frame. A little size comparison versus the JBL. This is the Charge versus the Life Jacket. As you can see, the JBL Charge is massively bigger, and you can tell it contributes, but it can definitely contribute to a better sound. Now, many of you may be saying to yourselves um, that the Altec competes more directly with the JBL Flip. That's it, right? Flip 3. And you guys would be wrong because the Flip 3 sounds much better and has more bass than this. Even I've heard them and I actually own a Flip. Second thing is, the Flip right now is $79.99, and it's been like that for a long time. The Altec is $100. In my opinion, I would say go for this if you're getting sound right now. I haven't discussed anything else, but go for the JBL. Next up is durability and features. If you're not going, the Altec has a metal grill. I think that's aluminum. And Boss, this logo right here. I do like this logo on here. One sec. Yeah, it's that stuff. It's got a mount, so you can mount it to like a tripod. You can mount it to your bikes. You can put on your handlebars. It comes included with that. Um, it has an aux-in, a mini USB, a micro USB, I should say, and a full-size USB. The full size is for charging your phone. The mini, right, the micro, is for charging the speaker, and line in is for line in music. On top, you can see it has power, volume up, and volume down. This speaker does not support Siri or Google Now that I know of. This is drop proof. This is snow proof. This is waterproof. This is dust proof. Now, we're going to get into build quality a bit more. Oh, I don't know if you noticed this, but I'm starting to take the shell off because I don't really like it. It feels a bit cheap. Underneath, it feels a lot better. But for $100, this thing definitely feels cheap, like really cheap. Like this, I could break this right now if I wanted to. I'm not going to. Yeah, this could have been better put together. Look, this plastic's a bit way too thin here. On JBL, everything fits. This, for $100 speaker, I was expecting a lot more. We're gonna move on to the JBL. We'll move on. We'll talk about these later on. We'll go on. The JBL, in terms of features, well, let me do the logo. This logo is actually real metal. It's aluminum, I believe. Yeah, let's see if we can get this close enough. Nope, it's not gonna focus. Okay, on the top you have Bluetooth pairing. You have volume down, you have power, you have JBL Connect, which you can connect up to 2 speakers, the Flip, the Pulse, the Extreme, and so on. You have the volume up, play pause, which also within the app you can change it to support Siri or Google Now. On the side you have 2 passive bass readers. I'm sorry if they're dirty. These are really fun on bass heavy music. I'll do that later on. I'll put water on them. It shoots water really high. These are like on the JBL Extreme, except a bit smaller. These are 30 millimeter, I want to say, 30 or 50. It's got on the front, I forgot to say this, it's got 5 battery indicators, which is more than the Altec, which has none, and more than its competitors. It has another bass radiator, and on the back it has this really, really nice flap. I'm gonna let you listen. So satisfying. It's got a much better seal than on the Altec. It's got a better fit and finish. Now we're going to move on to build quality, and for this I'm going to grab my macro lens and I'll be right back. Okay, up first we have the Charge 3, and my macro lens isn't really working right now. Okay, it's working, but it's just a bit dirty. I don't feel like cleaning it off right now. Up first we have the JBL Charge 3. This is the back flap. Keep this in mind. This is the back flap for their proofing features. These are both the Altec and these are waterproof and they float. The JBL is not dust proof yet at the moment, although it would be sand proof because of this fabric coating. This is actual fabric, and it actually feels really sturdy. See, I'm pressing down on this really hard, and it doesn't even budge. On the Altec, it actually does flex a bit like normal metal. This fabric feels really well, and here, listen. That's solid. You have the flap here. You seal it like that, and then you just hopefully don't hit that. Yep, that's what that. You have line in. You have mini USB, micro USB, and charge output. And look at that seal on here. That is well put together. And on the bottom you have this nice grippy material, nice texture. These speakers don't get warm when charging. The JBL actually gets a bit warmer than the Altec. This is where the battery would be. This seam right here, first of all, look at that seam. Look how it all lines up properly. This doesn't feel cheap. This feels a lot higher end than it actually would be. And personally, the sound signature on this thing, you've heard it, sounds really amazing at half volume. Later on, I'm going to crank this up to full volume and hope I don't peak my microphone too badly. But this sounds really good on here. We're going to move on to the front. Once again, a bit of creaking because it is over drivers. Now you might want to watch out for spilling like coffee on here or a drink, because it probably will stain, because it is, after all, fabric. If I were to go mudding or really hardcore rock climbing and I wanted music, I would probably go biking, because the JBL doesn't have a mount. I'll probably take the Altec over the JBL, but since I don't do that on my watch, I'm taking the JBL over Altec any day. Next, we're going to move on to the Altec in terms of build quality. First of all, this is a $100 speaker, bear in mind. I don't know if you can see that, but this is the flap that protects the internal components on a $100 speaker. And look how small this is. You have to physically put that in and do that. I'm sorry, I keep bumping this. Can't speak today. Look. Notice that lack of... Yeah. And people have said I've read reviews on Amazon, that this port, after about 6 charges, ceases discharging, and you can't charge the speaker or your devices. So it becomes a $100 brick, and Altec won't take it back. On the bottom, it has a bike mount, tripod mount, and on the front, it's got this logo. Got a bit of flex on it, but that's normal. About the same as. Okay. You can see the two 30mm drivers on here. I believe they're 30. Yeah, moving on. I forgot to show you this. But the back cover like this, that's the thing that attached to it. That's white. I'm pulling it off. JBL doesn't have the problem. Now I'm going to move on to full volume test on chain smokers, because I like the chain smokers. I've also noticed that the Altec is a bit persnickety when it comes to turning on. And in all seriousness, this Altec Lansing sounds just as good, if not slightly worse, than my $20 Lee TV. I don't know how you pronounce it, but yeah, that's pretty sad. Okay, full volume test. This is full volume, max volume, I believe. Here's what I talk about with the vibration. Yep. Full volume. Now to move on to the big guns, the JBL. This is from the same distance, remember. Same cord, same video. It's on YouTube this time, because get a load of the startup sound on. Look at the bass radiators when I do it. Watch. Wait for it. Okay. Chain smokers, same song, full volume. The bass. Yeah. So for about um for about $20 more, you get this, which has, before we end, the Altec has about a 3,300 milliamp hour battery. The JBL has a 6,600 milliamp hour battery. Thanks for watching to the end, guys. This is the Technical Panda channel signing out. By the way, seriously, buy the JBL. It's so much better. I'll let you finish the song a bit. Turn it down. It's really loud. It's even louder on Bluetooth. Like, a lot louder. My computer does not have good amp. That's all for today, guys. Bye.